Negative numbers, what are they really all about? If you're struggling to get your head around them, don't panic. You are not alone, and one of the reasons will be that you've just got so good at counting, you're so used to using normal numbers. But let's remind ourselves how difficult that was at first. Okay, right, when you were little, right, you will have looked around you, you will have looked at objects, you will have seen things like pens, you'll have seen things like cats, you'll have picked a pen up, you'll have put it in your mouth, you'll have thrown it across the floor, you'll have seen a cat, you'll have prodded it, you'll have thought, oh, this is fluffy. You'll have noticed that those two things are different. When you've noticed that those two things are different, you might notice that now we've got some more things. We've still got two different things, but we have some more of them. And, we've now got some more things, but they're still different. Okay, you might now notice that, hang on a minute, we've got something similar about these two groups or sets of things. There's something the same about this group and this group. What is it? It's their threeness. Now, you won't have called it a 3 yet, okay, but you know that there's something the same. They've got the same number of objects in. Oops, dropped a pen. Okay. Right, what about now? What have they got in common? They've got their two-ness in common. Both groups of things have two things in. And you'll have looked around you and grouped things in the same way. Now, well, it's their oneness. Both of these groups have only got one thing in them. Okay, so even though the objects are different, the numberness is the same. So you'll have started thinking, maybe it will be a good idea to give these numberness things some names. And we did. Okay, we called the threeness 3, and we called the two-ness 2, and we called the oneness 1. Okay, so at the moment, both of those groups, both those objects have got one thing in them. Okay, we gave that the name number 1. Now that's so obvious to you now that you've forgotten really what it means and what you do with it, but you're brilliant at using it. You can add those numbers, you can subtract those numbers. Let's have a go. How many cats have we got? Meow, meow, meow. We've got 3. What if I want to add another cat? Well, what does that mean? Okay, we know what that means. It means we stick another cat on there. Okay, we better give that a name. Let's call that 4. We've now got 4 things, 4 cats. What did we do on our number line? Well, we started out 3 cats, and we added 1 cat. What does that mean? We jump this way on the number line. Okay, so adding a cat takes us to the right on the number line. You all know this. Okay, let's go back. How many cats do we have? Meow, meow, 2 cats. Okay, what if we're here on the number line? What if we subtract a cat? Okay, what does that mean? Well, we know what that means. We subtract 1 cat. 1 cat's gone. We've got less things in the group. Okay, we were at 2 cats. What does that mean on the number line? We jump to the left. So if we subtract 1, we're moving left on the number line. You all know that. What shall we do now? Now we've got 1 cat. We're here on the number line. What if we subtract another cat? Okay, subtract a cat. Sorry, cat. Okay, what have we got now? Oh, right, we've got something new. We have nothing in our group. We have no thing in our group. Okay, we better call that something. Let's give it a name. We'll call it 0. So we need a new number on our number line, and this was a really big thing. Okay, discovering the number 0 was hugely important in mathematics. Okay, but to you it's completely obvious. There's nothing there now, we've got nothing, it's 0. We have a new number on the number line. Right, all well and good, but I'm missing my cat. Let's bring my cat back again. Oh, we've got 1 cat. Okay, we're back to number 1 on the number line. Well, we've seen what it means to add and subtract cats, things on the number line, and that should work whatever numbers we choose. So if I add 2 cats to my 1, you all know what we're doing. We're going jumpy jumpy, and we'll get 3 cats. We don't need to put the cats on. But what happens this time if we start at 1 and we subtract 2 cats? Okay, well, what does that mean? If we subtract 2 cats, surely we've got to do jump and jump. That would be moving left twice on the number line. But what does it really mean if we subtract 2 cats? Well, if I subtract 1 cat, I have no cats. But that would only take me to here. That would only take me to 0. So taking away, subtracting 2 cats must make sense. We must be able to do 2 jumps, even though we seem to have less than one cat left. Okay, let's worry about what that means perhaps in a bit, but for now, right, the maths has got to still make sense. So if we subtract 2 cats from 1, we need a new number on our number line, and you know what's coming. Right, we're going to get the negative numbers. So let's put them on. We're going to get -1 to the left of 0. We're going to get -2. We're going to get -3. We're going to get -4. And we're going to get -5. Now the problem with these negative numbers, as we've just seen, is that they don't seem to make common everyday sense in the same way that the positive numbers made sense. When we had 1 cat, we subtracted... Did we have 1? Yeah, we had 1 cat, we subtracted 2 cats, we got to -1. Well, what does -1 cat actually mean? Okay, it's not the same as our positive 1 cat. We all know what that looks like, is a group of 1 cat. So the negative numbers are trickier. So what do they really mean in the real world? Well, let's take another example. Okay, the brilliant thing about maths is what we've done is we've used the patterns we've established. We've worked out we need some new numbers here. We'll call them negative numbers, and then we can think about, do they have any meaning? And often we find out that they really, really have important meaning in the physical world, which is brilliant. Okay, so let's think about an example that will make sense to you. Okay, if we can't imagine a negative cat, let's imagine some temperatures. Okay, so let's imagine, I don't know, it's a nice sunny, warm day. Here's the sun has got his hat on. Pip pip hooray. It's very sexist, isn't it? The sun has got her hat on. Pip pip hooray. Right, there we go. So the sun has warmed up a little puddle of water. A little puddle of water on the floor. And that little puddle of water has got some nice thermal energy from the sun, and it's warmed up to, oh, I don't know, let's say 3 degrees centigrade. And note that when I say 3, what I really mean is the number +3. If we don't say it, we just imply it's a +3. So that temperature is +3 degrees C. Okay, all well and good. Right, what happens if the sun hides away behind a cloud? Oh, there's a cloud. Okay, my sun's partially obscured. It's hidden by the cloud. What's going to happen to the temperature of the water? Well, the temperature of the water is going to decrease. It's going to go down. Okay, so let's imagine the temperature goes down by 2 degrees centigrade. What's that going to mean? Well, on our number line, we know what it's going to mean. We're going to start at +3. And if the temperature decreases, that's subtracting, isn't it? I'm going to subtract 2 degrees C. I'm going to go jumpy left. I'm going to go jumpy left. I should end up at 1 degree C. So my puddle is now a little bit cooler. Okay, it's now still positive. It's at +1 degree C. Now, what does that mean in the real world? Well, if you want to be all physicsy about it, it means that the little particles, the molecules in the water, are jiggling around with a bit less energy than they had before. Okay, so here, they were just moving a little bit faster. Okay, now let's imagine that cloud gets a little bit darker. What's going to happen? The temperature is going to go down. Okay, what are we doing with our +1 degree C? Well, let's subtract another 1 degree C. We subtract another 1 degree C. We're going to be down to 0. Now, what happens to water at 0 degrees C? Oh, it's going to freeze. Okay, we're going to get an ice cube. So we get an ice cube. The particles are still in there, but they're locked in position. Okay, so at 0 degrees C, at 0 degrees C, we've got an ice cube. Okay, so now what's the point of all this? So what happens if, let's say, that cloud completely covers our sun? What's going to happen now? Well, our ice cube is going to stay as an ice cube, but it's going to get colder, isn't it? So let's say somewhere down here. Let's subtract 3. Okay, so on our number line, we know what we're going to do. Jumpy, jumpy, jumpy. We're down to -3 degrees C. Now this is a little bit easier to understand than with our cat example. What does negative 3 degrees C mean? Well, is the negative 3 degrees C ice cube the same as the 0 degrees C ice cube? No, it looks the same, but it's telling us something very, very different. Here, the particles are moving with even less energy. They're still vibrating, they're locked in position, but they're moving less than the particles in the 0 degree ice cube. So what have we decided? Well, I think we've decided that not only can we have positive numbers, but we can also have negative numbers, and those negative numbers are useful. We've looked at adding and subtracting positive numbers. What we'll look at next time are, can we extend those rules to add and subtract negative numbers? Yes, we can. Hurrah! Before I upload, I've made the usual loads and loads of mistakes. At least I've spotted a couple of them before I upload this time. So, number 1, at 3:08, I think I say less things. It should really be fewer things. Sorry, English department. Number 2, I talk about degrees C quite a lot in the video. Right, I've called that degrees centigrade. It's because I'm old. Okay, ask your physics teacher. Right, what would be a better name for that scale, that degrees C? Okay, also, if you want to make your physics teacher's head explode, okay, we talk about some negative temperatures. Ask them about negative 274 degrees C. What would happen? Number 3, I think I say less than 1 cat. I didn't mean 1 cat. I mean, right, what would happen if we had less than 0 cats? And again, I'm not sure there was 0, the less than fewer. But what would happen if we had less than 0 cats? That's the whole problem.